What's up, Archons? I'm Flightless Pheasant, and today we've got a new update from Ghost Galaxy. I don't have my green screen. I'm on vacation right now, but hey, I'm not going to miss an update if it's a really good one, and this is a really good one. So, this article is called, Are You Ready for Vault Assault? And it's apparently a multiplayer variant for the Keyforge game, like an official one from Ghost Galaxy. I haven't read the article yet, and I haven't looked at the cards yet. So I want to read the article, look at the cards, see what we think, and yeah, we'll go from there. So more than two can play this game. What happens when three or more Archons want to access the same vault? Why, a relentless assault where only the fiercest or most devious can be victorious, of course. Keyforge Vault Assault is an official multiplayer variant where 3 to 5 players compete against each other in a race to be the first to forge 3 keys. There are no teams in this variant. It's every Archon for themselves. Makes sense. For those attending GenCon 2024, you can try your hand at Vault Assault with its debut at the show on Sunday, August 4th. Prepare a challenge for the vaults like you've never seen before. Okay, that answers one of my questions. I was curious why they were announcing Vault Assault right now when they just did Discovery and KFC is still a few months out, but this is a Gen Con announcement, which makes sense. I don't usually go to Gen Con, so I forget that Gen Con happens and that people care about it, which, you know, people do, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, I just forget. Vault Assault is a fun and often chaotic variant. Table talk and deal making are encouraged. That's ideal for small groups of Keyforge players looking for a style of play that can keep everyone engaged, especially if you have an odd number of players. Yeah, that does happen sometimes where the odd man out kind of just has to wait for a game to finish before they can get a game in. And if this is good, which it might be, you know, I'm not going to count my chickens before they've hatched, but if this is good, it would be a good answer to that. So let's take a look. Playing Vault Assault. To play Vault Assault, each player uses one Keyforge deck from their collection or opens a new sealed deck. Aside from these decks and the usual Keyforge tokens and counters, your group will need a single set of Vault Assault cards consisting of a first player card and 6 different boon cards. All right, let's take a look at this first player card. You are the first player this round. This is it's a title. At the end of this round, the player with the highest initiative becomes the first player for the next round. Oh, okay. All right. Let's hear him out. Vault Assault is played over a series of rounds, each round consisting of all players each playing a turn, starting with the player who holds the first player card. Okay. However, prior to each new game round, each player drafts one boon card, starting with the first player. Each boon has an initiative number, 1 through 6, and a special ability, such as reducing your key cost for the round, exhausting all creatures and artifacts of an opposing house, or making your amber safe from being stolen or captured. Okay. At the end of each round, the player with the highest initiative number on their boon card takes the first player card. Then all boons are returned to the common supply so they can be drafted again in the upcoming round. Play continues in this fashion until one player has forged all 3 keys. Okay. Are they drafted at random, or starting with the players prior to each round drafts one boon card? Okay. You know what? Let's take a little side tour. Let's look at these rules real quick. I don't want to go too deep into it. Components needed setup. Let's assume all of that is standard and not get too into it. Draft boon cards. Okay. The first player takes all the boon cards and randomly sets aside a specific number of them face down without looking. Okay, in a 3-player game, it's 2. In a 4-player game, it's 1. In a 5-player game, don't put any aside. All right. Then the first player looks at all the remaining boon cards and secretly chooses one to keep, then passes the remaining boon cards to the player to their left. That player secretly chooses one of the remaining boon cards to keep and passes the rest to their left. Repeat this process until all players have secretly chosen one boon card. Set aside any remaining boon cards face down. Okay. So basically, there'll be one more boon cards than players, because there's 6 boon cards, and you remove until there's one more than the number of players, so that every player gets a choice. And then the current first player gets first choice. All right. Then you reveal your boon cards. If it has a reveal ability, you do it. Okay. Okay. When you steal or capture, it all comes from the same pool. That makes sense. If an ability refers to a player or each player, the ability affects all players. Yep. Refers to an opponent. The active player indicates a single opponent. Yeah, so this is like most of the homebrew variants I've ever seen. If a card has a constant ability that affects a single opponent, that opponent must be chosen. Yeah, okay. Heart of the Forest and Quixelstone. Both of these cards have constant abilities that apply to all players by creating a comparison to a single player. Yep. If one or more players are using the Dark Tidings deck, only one tide is card used in the game. The tide can be high for only one player at a time and is low for all other players. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so I wanted to take a look at that, but let's come back to the main article. So, how do we play this? Not going to GenCon. Maybe you're going, but can't wait that long to assault some vaults. Not a problem. We're thrilled to make Vault Assault cards available today as a print and play. Just click the link below for the PDF. Nice. Don't like print and play, you can go to Forgefire and purchase it. I probably will end up purchasing it, but I do want to bop over to the print and play. Oh man, that's really small. Make bigger. Make bigger, make bigger. Okay. Okay, so it's got the 6 what are they called? The 6 boons. It's got the 6 boons and the first player token. So here's the first player token. We've seen that already. This is boon 1. So this one guarantees you will not be first player. But it makes it so your amber cannot be captured or stolen. Ooh, flavor text on these. Oh, y'all know how I feel about flavor text. The reckless may seize a moment, but the cautious will rule a lifetime. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Expertise. Your keys cost -1. Okay. Timing is everything. Nice. Destruction. Choose a creature or an artifact. The player to your left chooses a creature or an artifact. Destroy both chosen cards. Dang. The swiftest solution is often the best. No kidding. That's not bad. Authority. Reveal choose a house. Exhaust all creatures and artifacts of that house. Yikes! Temper your authority with prudence and wisdom. Yeah, that's potent. And that one's... I mean, you don't go first. I guess... Let me look at the rules again. I guess only... During this step, no player... Okay. The first player takes their full turn, followed by the next player clockwise order. Yeah, so... Okay, so boon cards, initiative count, is flexible. So this card can only be the one that makes you go first if you are doing a 3-player variant and you've taken 2 cards out. But otherwise, this card won't make you go first. It'll only do what it says it does. Proliferation. Reveal. Choose an opponent. You and that opponent each draw 3 cards. Gather allies before seeking enemies. Okay, so this one can only make you go first if you're playing 4 players. And then this is the one that will always make you go first if you're playing 5 players. Oh, wow. Reveal. Choose an opponent. That opponent gains 1 amber. Those with power can afford to be generous. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. You know what? I'm on board. Like, 100% sign me up. Sold. This feels like a lot of casual fun, and I think it's exactly the kind of thing we need right now. I wish that one of the things they did with this is they put it in a open play kit or something that could be shipped to LGSs. So like LGSs could get a stack of these and a little stack of these that they can hand out basically for free. You know, that you'd want it to pretty much be for free. I guess let's see what Forgefire's charging for it since we're over here. Yeah, Forgefire's charging $5 and it's like 7 cards. Like, I mean, that it's not nothing, but like you could feasibly distribute these in some kind of quantity to like maybe the stores that are getting more mutation can get some of these with their more mutation order. Who you know, that's just one idea. But I like it. I think it's good. This is good for casual play. This is great for casual play. I'm very, very happy to see this. It's good. It's real straightforward and simple. Cards sound like they're not too complicated. The rules are not too complicated. It sounds like almost every 3 to 5 player variant that I've played, because I played a couple of those. Except they didn't modify key cost and instead just introduced cards that have effects that modify the game in various ways, which is also totally good. That's actually, not bad at all. So yeah, I like it. If it means anything, it gets my seal of approval, for whatever that's worth. But that's all I have for you today. So until next time, later, Archons.